Thank you.
Te Uraroa Flavel.
Kia ora tātou e te whare, tēnā koe Mr Speaker. I'm pleased to take a call on the Fair Trading for soliciting on behalf of Charities Amendment Bill, and congratulate Amy Adams for putting the bill forward. Ka nui te mihi. Mr Speaker, there's an old saying by a great Te Arawa person that goes something like this: charity begins at home. Was it Te Arawa person? Absolutely. No, that one is charity stays at home. Mr Speaker, I absolutely agree that it's along the lines of recognising that famous saying from that famous Te Arawa person that ultimately charity, manaakitanga demonstrated through the expression of aroha, hospitality, generosity and mutual respect are an important part of New Zealand culture. It's about also whanaungatanga, understanding our interdependence with each other and recognising that people are our wealth. And it's about tahitanga, doing our bit to contribute to the collective well-being. So the acts of charity that this bill addresses are, however, outside of the home. We are instead talking about the small to mid-sized organisations that tend to employ third-party fundraising professionals. We're talking about Barnardo's with a total income of $53 million coming in from the general donations and another $53 million from parental contributions. We're talking about Plunkett with an income for core child health services close to $39 million. Or St John's with revenue from the rendering of services up to $150 million with an additional $19 million from donations, bequests and grants. So these are just three of the of over 23,000 charities registered with the Charities Commission. These are sizable amounts of funding that we're talking about, and as such we believe it's essential that the public has confidence in the transparency and the accountability of the charitable organisations they support. Mr Speaker, other speakers have already mentioned that the bill is a response to the recent media interest in charities where a significant amount of fundraised income has been spent on fundraisers. Basically, the bill requires professional third-party collectors to disclose to potential donors that a proportion of the donation will be retained by the collector. This, as other speakers said, only applies if the proportion retained is more than 20%. So the hub of the issue for the Māori Party is that although the proposed amendment to the Fair Trading Act may be helpful and would provide some transparency, it does not assist donors to distinguish between different types of fundraising and the associated costs or require disclosure from charities that employ fundraisers. But most importantly, we believe the bill is actually premature. We have, of course, had the privilege of being able to consult with the very fine Minister of Community and Voluntary, an excellent minister from an excellent party about this bill, and we have become aware of the capability, thank goodness, and we've become aware of the capability and awareness within the fundraising sector itself, sir, that there are some legitimate issues about the regulation of the sector from within. So as I say, we've been fortunate to get that input from a fine minister. We know too, sir, that the Fundraising Institute of New Zealand is currently drafting industry standards for its members to supplement its existing codes of ethics and conduct. These are very positive steps. Having standards in place will help to set firm guidelines for fundraisers and the public about what is acceptable practice. And we would hope that as a result of such a move, we are likely to see improved practice and the restoration of donor confidence. Mr Speaker, there is, however, a bit of a risk that although the cost of compliance might be minor, some fundraisers might not be prepared to continue to fundraise for charities, and that's a big concern for us. The groups I referred to before and the 23,000 do not deserve to be punished by one bad apple in the bag. Quite to the contrary, sir, we should all be doing what we can to support those vital services who are, in many respects, the heartline of our communities. Mr Speaker, the Māori Party is prepared to let this bill go through the Select Committee to hear what the community and the voluntary sector has to say about it, but we do so, have to say, with some reluctance, because the last thing we would want is to pile even more work onto the sector that is already flooded with more than enough paperwork to deal with. And we have confidence in both the Minister of the Community and voluntary sector and the sector itself that financial reporting requirements are seriously under review. It is, however, consistent with our commitment to letting the public have
I'm
a say.
sorry to interrupt
that we
the
will
member,
vote,
but his time
with
has
that bill
expired.
today.